All right, we are recording. Welcome, everybody. It is 9 o'clock on the, what day is it? I've completely lost complete track here. Looks like we are on the 6th of August, Monday. I knew it was Monday. That was as far as it went. I hope everybody's doing well. It was great seeing so many at the regional training that we had this weekend. I know it's been quite a chat and talk of the town and a buzz going on about it for the folks that were able to see it. We were able to record the event. I'm waiting to hear back from Mr. Harrell to make sure everything worked out with the recording and make sure that it all came through and we got all of it. I hope we did because it was a life-changing weekend, and a lot of people gave some amazing feedback on that. And like we always do, I like doing testimonies, so I want to open up the testimonies for anybody that wants to share what their big takeaway was or anything they got out of the weekend or if they had any fun or just anything like that. I want to hear what it did for you. I'm not interested in you saying I appreciate the thank yous and everything that we did, and that's awesome, but spend more time on what it did for you because that's what I want this to be about. So anybody want to share anything?
I'll share.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jones.
I'd have to say that it was great. It was absolutely great. I actually took that entire presentation and actually changed it around into my world, into how it impacted me, and actually flipped it into what I do for my daily job. And it was like a charm today by figuring out what people are doing and their why and what's important to them, and really impacting and figuring out, just having that bond and that feeling from people, and then being like, oh, not a whole bunch of information. Oh, this is actually about me and what I want and how is it important to me. And that flipped the whole script. Like, I had faces turned like no other today. Like, what is going on with this guy? And it was great.
That's so cool.
I got a lot of value out of it. I greatly appreciate it.
Cool, man. That's wonderful. I appreciate you sharing that. That is absolutely fantastic. Rosalie, it sounds like you're having problems, but you said you hear me. So let's see. I can see you, but not hear you. Nobody else having issues hearing me? Everybody good? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. Okay. Rosalie, it looks like maybe something on your side. If you can hear this, I'll tell her try restarting. That's what we always do in IT. Have you restarted your computer? All right. Looks like she might be okay. Anybody else want to share that was at the regional this weekend? Mr. Pinso, or somebody's got a finger over there. Oh, nope, there it is.
Hey, not Mr. Pinso.
I see Mindy. How you doing?
Good. Like I said at the meeting, the thing that hit me was I realized, yeah, my why is important, but realizing that to help other people find their why and make them realize that they can reach it helps me get my why.
Very powerful. Very, very powerful. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what it's all about. That's how you drive that car, as we say. That is fantastic. I'm glad you got that. Excellent. Excellent. Glad everybody is, as we go through this, if you got anything that hits you that you want to share, please do so. I want this definitely to be that interaction and make sure that's out there. Jamie Hartwell, for some reason, you are showing as unmuted and it keeps sparking and hearing something in the background. If you can mute your line, that would be helpful. I can't figure out why it won't let me mute you out. Okay, so I'll share as well with something that came as a result of this weekend, because these events, while I know you guys got a ton out, I can promise you I got as much, if not more, out myself, because to put one of those on, you got to have everything pretty much squared away. No problem, Jimmy. Thank you. You got to get it clear in your head to be able to share that with somebody else. And so I got a lot out of it. And sure enough, today, a vendor takes me to lunch. And Don, it was literally one table away from our table when Don and I went out to the same restaurant. It's pretty funny. I've got a pretty good track record at that place, and went to Chewy's in the Woodlands. And this lady, unlike Don, this lady, she did a lot of talking, and it was great. And we started off talking about the weather and all my favorite subjects. And then we got into, she'd asked me something, and really good thing. If you don't know what to say to somebody and they ask you a question, ask them the same question back. It's pretty interesting how that works. And just let them go. And then just look at them for a little bit. And they'll keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And that's what I did. When it was all said and done, she was going on and on about some health things and some things she's wanting to happen in her life. And I literally looked at her and I said, no, before you move on to the next topic, let's go back to what you just said. That sounds pretty important to you. Is that something that you want to rectify? And it got real fast. And I made it solely about that. And I'll be honest with you, hearing her going on and on and on, third, fourth time around the track on some of the same topics, it gets to be a bit much for me, but I kept that light on her, on the subject matter that she was sharing. And because of that, I was able to put a couple things together and then verify that said, sounds like you might be dealing with this, this, and this. Is that something that you want to rectify? And sure enough, it was. And because I had listened and paid that much attention to her, it turned into a customer and a customer on the spot. And she was blown away. And what happened is I did a testimony after that. Once I flipped the light switch on her, made it about her. And then after that, I turned the knob to see how much of a ding this was. It was a pretty big deal. And because of that, then I was able to go in and move into a testimonial. I was able to tell my story of what it did. And I was basically able to recreate Wellness Simplified by sharing what I had seen and then what other people had seen by talking to her and painting that picture. And when it was done, she goes, wow, that sounds incredible. I said, yep. And you heard the story about how it's got the money back guarantee. That's something that you want. I want to try it. Well, let's get you a month's supply. Worst case scenario, send it back and I'll take care of your shipping for you. It's done. What do I need to do? Grab your phone, go to this website, click the shop button, add that to cart. When will it be here? About 4 or 5 days. Awesome. And then sends me a text later and they thank you so much for going lunch. She bought lunch, by the way. Her company bought lunch. And she goes, thank you so much for spending time and telling me that. I couldn't have told her what she needed to know if I started the conversation with, hey, well, what do you do? Do you just work there at Huntsman? No, I've got some other things, and let me tell you all about them. No. She didn't really even care about that stuff because deep down she wants to know about her. And I'm not going to just randomly guess that that's the stuff that she's dealing with. She's going to keep feeling comfortable by talking because I'm sitting there listening, and she shares. And when she shares, then do you want to sort that out? If so, how much? All right? Pull lever. And that's it. For y'all that don't know what I mean by this turning the knob and flipping the switch and pulling the lever and all that good stuff, what we do in our little factory here is we do 3 things after we figure out why we're in this. And when you make it, and what you're hearing is everybody got real clear on 2 things before they got into anything else. They have to know exactly what they desire. And it was incredible the number of people that thought they knew what they desired and what they realized when they were sitting there going through the exercises that we went through. And that was huge. And digging in, a lot of y'all experienced that last Thursday when Jamie and Eddie were making some of the comments that they were making, and we dug in and we got to that source. When you get that nailed down, then you've got it. I don't have to remind you of it. Nobody does. Then after that, you got to know how to drive this car. You know where you want to go. That's your why. And then after that, it's going to be a matter of showing you how you drive the car to get to it. And that's very powerful. And what Power Hour is built for, if this is your first one, Power Hour is built so that we can go into those 2 areas, those 2 arenas, and make sure you are crystal clear. Because a lot of y'all heard that stuff and you've been hearing it, but you heard it. You felt it, you experienced it. It's not about hearing the information, it's about experiencing it. And that's what everybody realized at the regional this weekend. And for you that have been going to the Road to Jades that I've been doing, you're experiencing that, and that's the difference maker. And when you take this thing to another level, you help your people experience it, and that's what it's about. It's not about information. It's about them experiencing it. So Power Hour is built to be able to go into those areas and have some one-on-one time with me, with all your friends here in the boxes, that hopefully have their video on so that they can share the experience with you so that you know you're not in this by yourself. But the important part is when you share, and everybody will mention this from the regional, is that they were able to experience not just their story, but other people's story that touched them, and it got them in touch with what they're doing for. And that is huge as well. That's what Power Hour is about, to be able to dig into those parts. So what I want to do is, again, anybody have anything they want to share, please do so. If you don't, that's fine. If you've got any examples of things that you've worked on today, people that you've gone through, plan, do, review, adjust. We had a plan. We've had a plan. We keep refining the plan. Then we do. Hopefully you guys are taking action. Hopefully you feel compelled to take action because your why is so well defined. And then after that, we review what you did. That's going to help get it clear in what happened, not all your interpretations of what happened, on what actually happened. And then we'll adjust and come up with a better plan on how you can make that better. Or, hey, that was perfect. There's nothing else that I see. No one else got anything. You did it great. We keep on doing it. And that's what this is all about. So let's open it up. Anybody have anything that they've experienced, done, tried, things that worked, didn't work? Anything that you want to share?
Hey, Casey.
Yes.
I just want to say and I'm not sure David may have covered this. I missed the first little bit of what he was saying, but for me, the exercise of really taking the time to clearly visualize our why, and I know we've done that previously, but not the way that we did it this time. That was extremely helpful, and it was actually something that I did even today, just even throughout different parts of my day, even when I was at the gym, just, closing my eyes and visualizing that why, it transfers into, if you let it, it will transfer into everything you do, not just building this business, but every decision you make. Every decision you make essentially should be getting you closer to that why. So I feel like that was a very, very powerful exercise. And I mean, you can watch playback or listen to as many people talk about it as you want, but if you weren't there, you didn't get to experience that. So for me, that was really the biggest thing. The other thing that came back to me was, sometimes I lose sight of the fact that, when you start building your business and building a team and you start hitting some ranks, all of a sudden it kind of gets, I won't say overwhelming, but it gets very easy to lose sight of why you started. And for me, what came back to me this weekend was remembering that the big reason I got started was the thought of just being able to help one person. And I just thought, you know what, if I could help one person get off their medications, or one person who has cancer, or just help that one person, that really came back to me on top of visualizing my why and where I want to be.
That's awesome, Jake. That is really, really well said, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Something that Jake said that spawned a thought that I want to share is that I know there's a lot of people that were on this that were unable to be at the event. And I know there's some folks that were in Houston that weren't able to make it. And I know there's a lot more that weren't in Houston that weren't able to make it. But if you were outside of Houston and I get this thing squared away, I want you guys to let me know if you want it. I'm not going to just post it out for the world. You're going to need to come to me if you want to review that. So let me know that. Let me know if that's something that you want to see. And because I want to make sure that the folks that are going through that, I want to keep up with them, I want to track and being able to help them. It's not just, here's some stuff. No, that's not how we're going to do it. It's going to be, you come to that thing, we're going to make sure you're going to get results. And I want to make sure that that we follow through with that. So if you got some interest in that, then send me a private message. Don't put it on Power Hour. Don't put it anywhere except a private message directly to me. If you don't mind, you can text me or Facebook message me directly, and then I'll get you on a list for that. But very well said, Jake. Very well said on our why. So I'll share some of the components. And it's not like, here's the other thing. Yes, the event was insane. It was so good. I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. It's just Yeah, that it's like when you sink a hole in one, you say, yeah, pretty damn good golf shot. It was good. I get it. I get it. It came through, and that's just it. And if y'all think that's cocky, then you got it wrong. It's just what it was, and it was powerful. And I'm telling you, as well as I'm sitting here, and I've been saying this to some of my leaders for the last several weeks, you guys are going to you see it right now. The numbers on this call have swelled. It will go down to a certain point, but you see that it is swelled because it made an impact. It was different than anything else. I'm saying all that so that you make sure you're a part of what happens moving forward. I'm always about moving forward. You can't go change anything in the past. We are here, and that second is now gone, and that second's gone, and you'll never get them back. And that's fine. Look towards in the future on being able to move and being able to be a part of that next one because, and I get it, you keep going to the same thing over and over, and you see the same old stuff over and over, and it's like, I've seen that, heard that, and that's not working for me. Why do I want to keep going? The folks that went, you can see, you can tell, you can hear it, you can feel it, that they are now different than they were before that event because of what they experienced. And I want to make sure you're a part of it moving forward. I want to make sure that you are plugged in and a part of this movement that has been spawned, this awakening of people seeing what this thing's truly about. And I've got it to a point where I completely am confident in being able to train in that fashion and get people to have that breakthrough. And when you have that breakthrough, it's two things. Where do you want to go? And how do you get there? And like Jake said, like David said, it doesn't matter what that thing is. It's not just, I didn't say the word Kyani for like 3.5 hours this weekend. All right. And I didn't say it too many times after I did say it. So this stuff, this was needed is the words that were used many, 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 many times. So make sure you get in touch with this thing. Make sure you're plugged into this thing. Make sure you get to have this experience when it comes through, when it happens next time, because it'll make all the difference in the world. And that's why I'm kind of sitting back smiling. It's a done deal. I told the story. I think I told it on Saturday for sure. But I was driving my vehicle extremely fast on a week ago. And it was a 2-lane freeway. There was a third lane that opened up for about a mile. And I happened to look over and I see clear skies. I can go. I can make this. It's about a half a mile left at this point when I see this opening. And I do the mental calculation that you do when you drive and you make a decision. And you made a choice. And my choice was it wasn't that I hope I'm going to make it. That's not what you normally do in a vehicle. I hope we make it. That's not a good thing. It's, I got this. And as I'm going, and literally 121 miles an hour that I hit to make this, I make it with 10 feet to spare, no problems. As I'm going by, I also know, no doubt, that there's probably 14 to 18 vehicles that have drivers and passengers saying, look at that idiot. Look at him doing that. Look at that. He is so crazy. He's going to kill somebody. He's going to go to jail. He's going to lose his house. It's not going to work. What happens if his tire blows? What if his engine blows? What if all the naysayers were over there going, I can't believe that. Get back in line, you crazy fool. All these different things, I'm sure, were being hurled at me as I am blowing right by them, hit it with 10 feet to spare, and make my meeting on time. What was my desire? My desire was to not sit in traffic anymore. I hate going slow. I want to make progress. That's me. That's my desire. I don't want to be late to my meeting. That's my desire. Now, that's half of it. I got to know where I'm going. I'm going in front of that 18-wheeler, 18 cars ahead, and I'm going to do it extremely quickly. The second thing I got to do is I got to have a vehicle that will get me there. Now, it's one thing for somebody to know that there are cars that can do that. There's another to believe that you can do it. A lot of you with this business see other people do it, say, that's great for you, you can do it. You haven't given yourself permission to take that car off and go do that sort of thing. You've all got the car. It's called Kyani. You might not know how to drive the car. That's another thing. I get it. That's what this weekend was about. First half was, let's figure out why you want to go there. Not just where you want to go, but why you want to go there. And there was many times where somebody would tell me something, just like I did with Jamie and just like I did with Eddie last week on here, that wasn't enough. Everything they said was true, but they didn't feel it. If your why doesn't elicit a feeling that gets you to move, then you will stay in line and keep puttering along at 49 miles an hour. Jake, I can't believe you drank her wine like that. I saw that happen. That was funny. If you don't see where you're going and you don't feel that you can actually drive the car to do that, you're not going to go. Have you ever gotten over in that lane and go, I'm not going to be able to make it? You immediately, what do? You take your foot off the gas. You might even pump the brakes a little bit. You put your blinker on and you pull right back in. Some people make that decision immediately. Some people just kind of look over. Some people don't even look. Go, well, I guess this is just as good as it's going to be, 49 miles an hour for the next 400 miles. Some people look over and say, this sucks. How do I get there faster? But they never actually get out of the lane. They just peek over and look. They rev their engine like they're going to do something. And then they just take their foot off the gas and get back in line. And others look at it and go, hell yeah, I got this, let's roll.
So true.
And they drop the hammer. And that's what I did. Now, do I have a backup plan? Yep. Do I have a bailout plan? Yep. Do I have all sorts of extra things figured out on that? Yes, I do. I see why y'all laughing. That's funny. So, yes, it's powerful, powerful stuff when you see that analogy. What this is about, folks, is you got to know where you're going. If you got that figured out, that's probably the chances why you're on this call right now. I also can tell you that the people that are not on this call right now don't have that figured out yet. They don't know where they want to go, or they forgot. If they joined, they knew where they wanted to go. They might have gave up on that. Their focus isn't there right now. That's why they're not on. Their focus is on something else right now. That's more important, not more important than me. I could care less. But it's not important to them. What's more important right now? Some people sleep. I get it. Been a long day. It's Monday. Some people are literally sitting down in the other room in their house watching TV right now. Hey, I like watching TV. That's fine. It's their choice. That's cool. Our job is to find the ones that have that desire. So here's how you drive the car. You find people that have a desire. The way you drive this car, even if you don't like it, I don't know if you like the fact that cars burn gasoline. Maybe you want that to be different. That's fine. I'm cool with all that. But right now, that's how the fast cars work, is they burn gasoline. And until that changes, or gravity changes, or some other physical property changes, that's what it's going to be for a while. If you want to drive this car, this Kyani car, I'm telling you that it's got to be, it works best. You can put diesel in a car. You can put lawnmower fuel, as I talk about, too, in a car. That's fine. It ain't going to run so well. This car works better when you're focusing on somebody else. Now, you don't have to necessarily truly just can't wait to get up out of bed to help people. But guess what? That's how it works. So you might as well get used to it if you don't like it. You're going to have to help some people. Now, what's cool is that's not really that hard to get behind. That's kind of an easy thing. And most people look at that and go, hey, that's pretty altruistic. That's cool. When it's all said and done, make no mistake about it. You're doing it for you. And it better be to make you feel better. Not necessarily the helping the people, but what you get as a result of it. And that's your desires. Figure that out. Some people say, well, your desire has to be to help people. No, it does not. Your desire needs to be what you desire. The way you got to get it in this vehicle is it's got to be about the other person and helping them. That is a true statement. So make this about helping the other person. Now, how do you do that? You find out what the other person desires. It's so stinking simple. When you start worrying about, well, how am I going to get my stuff? Nope. That's what you got to do when you get up out of bed and make the decision and the choice that you're going to go out and do this day. After that, you need to not think about you anymore. When you're focused, I talked about an orb of your focus, and then these rooms in your hotel room of your mind of all the different spots. Your orb, you flip the switch, you're putting the orb of attention and focus on the other person. When your little raw material comes across on your conveyor belt, you flip the switch to put the orb on them, to focus on them. I'm at lunch. This lady's going on and on and on about 8,000 things, and I am focusing on that because it was important to her. It's not about me, it's about her. Do I want to talk about other things? Absolutely. Did I care at that point? Nope, because I knew that I was here to help her. And some things were exposed. That's what you got to do, is focus on them. And as a result of that, you're going to build even more trust. When I shared with her what I shared as my observations, I did it in a question. I didn't do it as I know everything in the world and let me show you how smart I am. You want to talk about turning people off real fast? Try that a couple times. You'll piss off everybody. Don't do that. You don't know everything about everybody. Go ahead and take this as fact. Your assumptions are most likely wrong. Ask questions. Ask better questions. You can still make a statement by asking a question. You can lead a conversation with questions. So what I heard you say was, that's letting them know that you're trying to hear what they're saying. The next thing you say is going to be a statement. And then you finish it with a question. Did I get that right? What I heard you say was blah, 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 blah. Did I get that right? That's how you can put a statement with questions on either end and make it be about them. It is a powerful technique. Use that technique in all aspects, not just your prospects, everywhere. Ask better questions. Then they'll give you information. And they'll let you know if you got it right or not. If you did, now you've made a connection. They feel a connection with you because you heard them. You didn't just get words come in. You truly heard them. You experienced it with them. There was empathy. They love that, human beings being other ones besides us. That's what you want to be able to have. Anybody got any experience with that? Maybe somebody, is this clicking with anybody that maybe wasn't at the regional? Or if it was at the regional, I'm up for some feedback. I want to hear what you guys got out of what I just said.
Hey, Casey.
Eddie, yes, sir.
I can't wait to share more epiphanies that I'm like Jake and Dave and the other people. This continues to feed. I mean, the more you sit down and you think about it, the deeper it goes. And for me, I had an epiphany at church, of all places, while I was sitting there. And I thought about in the Bible some of the things that God did to separate people, because he mentioned that if they were bonded together, they would be able to do these magical things like the Tower of Babel. And I got to thinking, I said, you know, with what we now know with mindset and the terrorists, and that we have the power, we have unlimited power. And the Bible talks about faith the size of a mustard seed could move mountains. So if we can truly get our minds pointed in one direction, like you said, without doubt, and knowing how to keep the terrorists out, whatever we purpose in our mind, we can get there, right? I mean, it speaks so many times about it. If you look at it, Peter walked on water. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not looking to walk on water, but I mean, that's faith, right? And then also, the Bible talks about speaking those things that are not as though they were. So I just want to tell all my teammates, we harness the power that we have now. Whatever we put, the universe is going to, as Casey said before, the universe is going to adjust to that, because everybody knows we only use a small part of our brain. That may even help us to tap into those things to alter our reality. So I'm truly a different person because of what we learned, and there's no doubt in my mind I'm going to get where I'm going. Ironclad. I just have to go through the process, because now it's just a matter of following steps, because it's done up here.
That's awesome. Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Eddie, I know that you just had a brand new business partner join your team today. And I know it is as a result of the things that you have been following. But did the regional have anything to do with being able to have a chat with Emmanuel today and wrap things up?
Yes, it did. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind when I saw him today that it was a wrap. And I don't want to say I willed it, but he was there, and he was just, it's almost like he was chomping at the bit to join the team. And my mind was already on, okay, this is one cog in the wheel. And now the main thing I want to do is get this guy prepared and get him educated on what we have learned so that his turnaround will be much faster than mine, because truly I understand that we really get our dose of dopamine from helping others. And truly, when we all look at our different whys, like you said, they all come back to what Jake and some others said, servitude. They all go back to servitude. And so now I'm ready to do that and to help others. And as you mentioned, if we help another, as Jim Rohn said, our everything we need will be taken care of. So it was magical. I will tell everyone, Casey and I had spoken with this gentleman a while back. He works in the office, and we got to talking, and he mentioned health concern. And I used, hey, do you want to fix that? He came over. I sent him some information. It took a little while. He eventually ordered. He came back and last week and told me, hey, I want to talk to you. He said, look, the product is great. How do I speak about the business? Casey had taken a little time to speak with him to plant that seed. And he said, yes, if the product works, I'll be interested in the business. Well, Casey and I went to lunch with him last week in the 550 SUV, which I'm sure that was a great adder. At about 75 miles per hour in the parking lot. so anyway, as we were sitting there, he began to explain, so I could see that us just being human beings with him, not pitching a business, but just talking to him, he began to unravel his layers and begin to talk about all these connections that he had set up in another country and how he's done business already. And my lid was totally blown. And it just let me know even more so, if we just be humans and take the business part totally out of it, we can get way much further naturally to where the point to where they'll be asking us and requesting to get more of what we have. So I just thank you all for everything, and this is awesome.
Eddie, how many slides did we show him at lunch?
Zero. Nothing.
It ain't about information, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not. It is not. It is about finding that out. I love it. Thank you, Eddie, for sharing, man. That is fantastic, and congrats again on brand new business partner, and that's just going to dovetail into so much more. He's lit up. It's good. That's really good.
Casey, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to point out, Phil, apologetic for those that weren't able to make the meeting this past Saturday. I've known you long enough when you tell me there's going to be next level training to listen and take advantage of that. And what was kind of interesting to me, you turned around a technique that I've do to several all the time. Growing up, I spent a lot of time reading muscle magazines and what to do to the physical body and such as that. And there's long been known, bodybuilders known for years, there's a huge mind-body connection. So quite often I'm telling my clients, I'm training them, if I'm working their triceps or a certain muscle group, I want their mind to be focused on whatever muscle they're training. And that's kind of what you turn around and did to me this weekend, is just say, okay, here's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on this part of it. And it was next level training, a lot of different trainings. And again, I've skipped some. I've not been at some of those Houston regionals, but I kind of took you for your word. When you said it's going to be next level training, you delivered. And I want to thank you and Brian both. Brian stepped in, and we all know it starts off with mindset. At least I do. It starts off with mindset. And I think the team that was there, the ones that did show up, have a different mindset, tuned into something, and I look forward to watching things just take off.
That's cool. I appreciate you sharing that. And Rob and I had a good chat today on the phone as well, and it was very powerful because Rob was there for the whole session that we had, as he just mentioned, and it was a big impact. And then being able to have that follow-up conversation on building upon that. And that's such a key thing. And that's why I'm really glad you all are here on Power Hour to be able to continue to build on that. And again, even for the folks that weren't there, I don't I know what y'all are saying when you're saying that. I'm not bashing on that. If you weren't there, you weren't there. I don't want you to feel like you can't ever get that information. You can't ever get that experience. You can't get that specific experience because that's in the past now, but I will regenerate that for people as we continue to do these. And that will be the standard for as far as my mind can see right now on how we will do these regionals and continue to do that, because I've known it for a while. It needs to be done. And there's been a lot of discussion on how to achieve it. And there's been a lot of work done on how to make that actually work. And it was a great start to it. And that will be the thing. I can see doing that literally in rooms of 500 people. And while there is a power in a tight-knit group, I can also promise you the power of experiencing that on an even bigger scale is going to be even bigger. And that's where my mind is. That's where this will be very, very, very shortly, as long as everybody gets it clear. Here's what I can tell you. If right now you don't feel it, if you don't feel your why, you need to speak up right now. Don't wait another moment. If it's not crystal clear to you, if you don't have trouble holding back your eyes welling up with emotion, then I can pretty much assure you that that why is not fully baked yet. And if that why is not fully baked, then I promise you your days are numbered in continuing to take action in this or anything else. You've got to have that. I don't know if that's a day, a week, a month, a year, 10 years from you, but I do know that it is limited if that's not clear. Because if you don't have that, then it's not good. You got to have that. And you all had a level of that or you wouldn't have gotten started. I want to dig in with you, and what everybody's talking about is an experience they had by digging in and going deeper with that. There was a lady that told me, I want financial freedom. Did anybody start because they wanted financial freedom? Cool. There is nothing wrong with that why. That is a huge, powerful, tremendous why. I want to take it another step. I want to go further. Had a lady that went in deeper and deeper and deeper, and finally we hit the source. And the whole room felt it. And she started talking about, I want my kids to make sure that they've got food on the table. And I don't want to have to worry about that happening ever again. Woo! You want to talk about a room getting freaking lit up. Everybody felt it in the room. Now, is that financial freedom? Yeah, but that is her interpretation of financial freedom. And it is her desire, her why. And everybody felt it. And if need be, I could have her describe that to a cartoonist that could draw a picture in a box that sits right above her workstation in this factory that we go to every day. Hopefully you go to it every day. And because of that, that's why she goes. Why do you get up tomorrow to go to your job? There is a why that's there, and it drives you, or you wouldn't put up with what you put up with. There's no problem with that. Just determine, do you desire more than what that's currently providing? Chances are it doesn't provide everything you need that you desire, and you're getting more. That's why you're here. So let's get somebody to share. Who's got a why that they feel that, it's my why, but I don't feel like it's the thing. It's not deep enough. It's not far enough in. I'm struggling with it. I haven't got that part nailed down. Is anybody experiencing that or dealing with that or fighting with that? Or does everybody on here 100% have their why nailed down without a doubt? There's no deeper I can go with it. Or do you want to do it in your chicken right now? And that's an answer too. But at some point, you'll get that 3, 2, 1 courage, and you'll just jump up and say, I got to get this figured out. I don't have it there. And you'll know that you got a whole team here willing to help by supporting, by listening and hearing, because they've all gone through it too.
Casey,
Yes,
it's Betty. It's Betty. Sorry I'm late. I was at my son's wedding and I had a ball tournament with my grandson, so traffic was crazy coming from Calgary, so that's why I was late. So sorry.
No worries. Sounds like
I had
a good reason.
Yeah, I had the why in my head all weekend. I got 2 ladies on the 7-day pack up there. Plus,
wait. I'm glad to hear that, but you started with something and you immediately switched gears. Let's go back to that why.
Okay, my why. because my health issues, and everybody that knew me from my son's wedding had known how sick I was, and so they were asking what I did to make myself so much better and to look so much better. And so then I had to get down deep, and I said to them that I thought I was going out the back door in the first 4 months with my fibromyalgia. I didn't even know if I could make it to my son's wedding up there. And I'm sorry.
No, don't you dare say you're sorry for your desire and your why. That's awesome.
And so then I was able to even give a speech, and they said, from my fibromyalgia, and how did you do it? And through health and wellness. And yeah, and so I got 2 ladies that were wanting one, and she says, oh, this is awesome. But this other lady, she's a minister in Medicine Hat, and she says, I know there's a business behind this, but she says, I'm going to try the 7 days, because she says, you look fabulous, and she wants to come in as a business partner. So just letting my why come out with my wellness, for my health, and how I've progressed in just since May 7th is when I started. And yeah, now they all want to do it too. So it was amazing, just keeping your why within you and carrying it forward.
Wow, that's so awesome. And that's, if y'all are taking notes on how to do a testimony, that's how you do a testimony. That's the power of a testimony. And it's a power of a testimony when somebody truly feels it. Did anybody feel the emotion coming out of Betty on her why and how strong that is? Every hand is going up. That is what it's all about. You got it, and I'm telling you, if your why doesn't get you sniveling like that, then you need to dig deep. And I'm not joking. You got to dig deeper to get that. If you don't have that, the days are limited. Taking action in this, you will pump the brakes, you'll take your foot off the gas, and eventually you will get back in line where you don't necessarily want to be. And
I know. And yeah, and then I had thought I would never travel again, so I let my passport lapse because I was so sick. I couldn't even think of traveling anywhere. So after all this, I haven't got my passport for Orlando yet. It's not coming until the 15th of September, but I will be there for December. But yeah, and so when you can think of traveling, because that's my passion, and not being able to do that for the last 18 years, it is amazing to be able to walk and to have no pain, and to be able to, I even had to speak at my son's wedding, and I did an awesome job there too, but I could never have done that a year ago.
Wow.
So everybody that does, I know I said some that they have to figure out their why. Find out through something if you're sick, or through something else, and just go for it, because this is amazing. I just can't get over how amazing the company, everybody. And the one lady said, I miss having camaraderie, because she's a minister and she likes to have more entrepreneurs in her life. And she said, this is just perfect. I said, well, I can't sign you in. We have to do a 3-way talk. You have to meet with a fellow that I know, and we do the training that way. So she says, I said, calm down, we'll get you signed in. But I said, I know, I have to know this guy or whomever can help. And so she says, I'll be back in Medicine Hat Thursday or Friday. So she says, give me a buzz and we'll go from there. So yeah, so it does help. Just people just gravitate to you because of your honesty, right?
Yes.
And your passion for it. So.
The authenticity of when you first, you got to know what it is, or you can't share it. And when you don't have it, when it's not clear, you can't share it. And if you do, it's not resonating. They're not building rapport with that. They're not feeling that. They're not experiencing that. When you get somebody to experience what you just did, dude, why do you think people like going to the movies? Because they experience what just happened there. They live through what you just shared. You got people with leaky eyeballs right now all over the place, me included, because you said some words. I mean, honestly, think about it. How silly it is when we share words and we can elicit an emotion out of another human being by simply doing that.
Mhm.
That's powerful stuff.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
thank you.
welcome.
Way cool. So I don't think Betty's got any problem with her why. Anybody else think she needs some help? No, I think she's good. Cool. So then here's the second part. You can have the greatest why in the world, and that will keep you lit for a long time. And if you keep your focus on that long enough, you will figure out a way to drive the car, as I was given in my example. Now, my goal is to show you how to drive this car instead of you having to go out and spend 10 years to figure out how to drive it. I'd rather show you in about 6 hours on how to go about doing something like that. That's what we did over this weekend. And I can do a short version of it in about 2 hours with the Road to Jade. And if we got some really sharp people, I can get them there in about 15 minutes if they're really coachable. That's how simple it is to drive the car. Is it easy? No. Because there's all sorts of other road conditions that happen. There's all kinds of things thrown in the middle of the road. There's blowouts. There's all kinds of stuff. And then there is the driver's limiting self-beliefs. We call that the terrorist. We have shown you the terrorist a couple of times. It's been showing up in different little areas. You'll see a nice little figurine that Mr. David Jones has been posting out there too, and Terry has made some adjustments to him. It's been great. But that terrorist will jump out and grab a hold of you really quick. And here's how you beat him. I wanted to talk about that a quick touch. You keep your focus, your awareness, your orb, your ball of light that's focused on whatever room. Right now, you're focused into what I'm saying, or you're distracted with something else that's going on. That's how it is. If you're focused on this, you're present with me. Or you might not be. You might have tuned me out and you're into something else, and I become background noise like the air conditioner and the sounds that are going on in and around wherever you're at right now. Maybe a ceiling fan is ticking, or maybe there's a cricket outside or something going on. That might be a distraction, a TV, baby crying, whatever. But if you can keep your orb focused on what you desire, and then when you're with somebody else, keep it on them alone, then that terrorist can't get in. You got to practice that. That doesn't just happen. I talked about it this weekend. We practice distraction all the time. It's very easy for our thoughts to wander. This little fella right here has a lot of ability to move you into another focused area, into another room. All of a sudden you look over, that thing lights up, big, your systems in your brain are just flashing, hey, there's something going on over there. Look, 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 look. And then you look and you see that name, and then you go into that room in your mind. Who's that person? Oh, I know that person. Why are they calling me? What's going on? Blah, blah. While that's happening, your focus is now over in that other room. It is not on what you were doing a moment later. If that moment later was your why, was your desire, guess what? You just got distracted away from what you are here to do. Now, here's the other crazy thing. That's a choice. You can discipline yourself. You can teach yourself. You can practice to keep your focus where you desire. I got distracted. No, you allowed yourself to focus on something else. There's explosions going. There are people that have figured out how to not flinch whenever the things happen. That's how focused they are. It's an involuntary reaction. No. You haven't taught yourself how to not be distracted. You can go, that human beings are pretty amazing in what we can do. So focus on what you desire, and that will keep that terror. As soon as you're focusing on limiting beliefs, you've changed the orb out of that focus room into the doubt room. Another neat thing that happens is when you take action, you're going to be focused on that action. When you're driving the car, you ain't thinking about all those other things. When you're focused on where you're going, everything else starts to get out of the way, and your tunnel vision on where you want to go. Do you need to have awareness? Yes, but you need to have a destination in mind. Couple comment, Mr. Brian Pinso, you got your hand up. What you got, sir?
I wanted to
And,
go
and I'm
out-
sorry to interrupt. And thank you again for Saturday. I had said that enough, man. You freaking crushed it on Saturday, man. I really appreciate
Well,
you.
thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I wanted to expand a little bit on what Betty was saying. Did you guys hear what she said? She couldn't travel for the last 18 years, but somebody who was in Keani removed themselves from the equation and brought it to her. Think about that. Would Betty have been able to do what she did tonight at the wedding? Would she be going to get her passport again? What we have, I don't think a lot of people understand the power in the, I can't say it's, yes, there is the butterfly effect, but not only the effect that we have directly with people, but the indirect compounding effects of what we do is you can't even fathom what that is. So the selflessness of sharing what we have because we are concerned with that other person, because let me tell you, I've been in business a long time, and it is truly an oddity for people to sit down and communicate with somebody and actually even care about what they're saying. Usually it's, I'm waiting for silence, and the whole time all I hear is want, like the peanuts. I don't know what this person's saying. The only thing that I'm focused on is what I'm getting ready to babble out of my mouth, which is where a lot of people get confused. And if you stay focused on that other person, and yes, you're right, that why is it. If you have the why, and I think that's what people are having an issue with, they have to be able to define that. Because money, oh yeah, I want a lot of money. The money is not the goal. It's what the money allows you to do. That's the part that really needs to be focused on, and what Casey's getting at. I mean, there's got to be something there significant, because you can make a pile of money. It ain't going to make you happy. You know, that's just one of those things. But I just wanted to say that with what Betty was saying, is just stop and think if someone did not approach her with this. I mean, think of the power of that, of you just changed this woman's life simply by communicating something out of the goodness of their heart. That's all I wanted to throw in there. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And take that one step further. Somebody had to do that, and then think of the person that had to talk to that person, and then the person that had to talk to that person that talked to that person that talked to Betty, and think of all of those choices that were made or not made along a path, a timeline. There's a lot of combinations that go on out there. But so when you continue to understand that this isn't about you and it's about the others, yes, it's about you to get this thing kicked off, but then you realize that your path and the impact it can have or not have because you were too busy trying to get something from this person. That's crazy to think about. And if you've done that, here's the cool thing. You can go back and change that. You can go back and fix that. You can go back and have a conversation and say, hey, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago. And I got to be straight up honest with you. I completely did you a disservice and screwed up with you. And this is not easy for me to say because I don't like screwing up, but I screwed up. And you might not be interested in what I've got going on, but I need to start over with you, and I need to find out, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? What have you been up to? And start all over and make it about them and not about you like you did the first time. There's a whole bunch of people in your list right now that you say, oh, they're not interested, they're not interested. And they might truly not be interested. But go back and find out how they're doing. See what's going on in their life. Is that going to take a little bit of a time investment? Potentially. Is it worth it? Would you like to have somebody that you know have a story like Betty just shared with you? That'd be pretty cool. Like Jake said, it only takes one of those. And then you are good to go. Everything after that is bonus. Complete extra. Rosalie, I saw your message. If you would please send me, I think I got your phone number, but I want to make sure that I have it. Can you send me a private message with your phone number and a time that we can talk tomorrow? And I want to give you a call. I don't want to do it by you having to type because it won't work the same way. But I want to have a chat with you on your why. So if you will take that action for me tomorrow, or let me know tonight a time that might work for you tomorrow, I'll give you a call. And when we get done, we'll have it all squared away. So if you'll do that, that would be awesome, because I want to make sure that we have that chat with you. Awesome. Thank you. Very good. All right. We've got time for one more. Anybody have anything to share? Yes. Somebody said something.
It's me. It's Tara.
Hey.
So I've been trying to jump in a couple of times, but I'm glad that I didn't jump in earlier. I'm so glad that we got to hear Betty's comments. Those were really moving. So thank you, Betty, for sharing. But I wanted to kind of come back and loop on top of what Jacob built about if you kind of just allow yourself to let it spill over into other areas of your life, it will. So Friday night, in the leadership course, and not everybody got to be a part of that, but it was really fun because we kind of all got out of our comfort zones and did something that we didn't really think about doing, and kind of getting out there. And so I want to just kind of add on to the whole why and everything, is making it about somebody else and about them and about what they need. And so there's been a little challenge set, and obviously a lot of us kind of see the challenge that's going on. But I really want to recognize that me stepping out of my comfort zone and having conversations on my live videos and just kind of giving my 2 cents about my why, or my kind of impact, or wanting to impact, and to wanting to be there for others and help others, really is starting to take off. And it's starting to, I notice people from my 9-to-5 employment jumping in and saying, thank you for sharing those comments, because I really needed those today. And these are people that I might have already shared something with very briefly, but I noticed people that didn't really know what my why was. And now that I'm expressing it externally through this, I'm noticing a lot more feedback come. And I think Ms. Sarah Ho made that comment on Friday that if we would get out of our box, we would see that. So I just want to express how fun it's been being able to get out of our comfort zone and share with others and really see the positive impact that it's been making. So, and everybody that I've seen on doing their thing, good job. So that's all I wanted to say, sir.
I appreciate you sharing that. That's so good. And for those that aren't aware, on Friday it was leadership, and it was about getting out there and social media and how to use that. And a lot of times when people hear that, they immediately just shut down, because they just, just all sorts of different things. Their little terrorist gets a hold of them, and they've got all sorts of prior history or thoughts or concerns and this, that, and the other. What that session was about was getting out there and sharing things such as empowerment, entertainment, or education. The 3 E's. Three things that you can offer to others. And again, not making it about you, but taking something that you might have to offer. It's very selfish to think that you don't have anything that the world would like, was one of the other things. And that's difficult for some of you to hear. It's like, nobody wants to hear what I have to say. But if you'll get out there and you'll find something that educates, something that empowers, or something that entertains, that's a very powerful thing for others, and they will tune in on that. You're not doing it to tell them about Kyani. You're not doing it to tell them about a business or a product or blueberries or anything like that. You're doing that to socially connect with another human being. And people like that. That's why there's a couple billion people on Facebook, is because that's what they get out of it. That's what's in it. If you'll make that connection with them, nobody wants to hear what I say. Try it. Prove me wrong. You will have people that will view what you put out there. Well, it wasn't that good. Doesn't have to be. This isn't a professional thing. This is you sharing your thoughts. I get on, I say, I'm sharing my thoughts on the passing scene. Here's what's in my mind right now. I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell does anybody want to hear from me? I have that thought. And I was like, there's plenty of stuff that I've got that they haven't experienced or know yet. So find out what I'm passionate about, what I like talking about, and put that out there and see if somebody gets some benefit. If they don't, they can get their money back guarantee on your posts. Okay? So definitely do that. Definitely get outside your comfort zone. Are you doing it for a reason down the road? Yes. Are you being intentional for it? Yes. The same reason that you reach out to these people and ask them how their day is. You're trying to find out what they desire. And if you say something and they get value from that, the rapport is built, the trust is built, and that will be when you look at your views and the people that viewed your stuff, guess what? If you ran out of people, there's some more people that you can have a conversation with now, especially if they comment or give you a thumbs up or a little heart or anything like that. Go send them a private message and say, it was so great to see you on that live. I appreciate you commenting. And then see if a conversation starts up. Or maybe they don't want to talk to you right now. Maybe that's their desire. That's cool too. But it starts another conversation, which gives you another opportunity to serve another person. And that's how we drive our car, and that's how we get our desire. So anyway, that was that subject. And thank you, Tara, for sharing that. Okay, we are out of time. It goes fast. I appreciate everybody jumping on today. I know why everybody's on here. And now here's what I would ask of you as we wrap it up. I would ask for all of you that have experienced what you have experienced. I would ask that you share that with somebody. I would ask that you take the experience of what you have felt in Power Hour, and I'm using these words very specifically. If you felt something, if you have gotten something that you've experienced out of this, not just content. You can get information everywhere. But if you have felt something, then I want you to express that and share that with another. That is how the organization grows. You've never once made a buying decision based on logic. You have always bought everything in your life based on an emotion. And if you've experienced an emotion on this thing, share that with somebody else so that they can experience that emotion. And I promise you, we will absolutely change the world. We will hit every single one of your desires. And we will rewrite the history books on what we did as an organization. And it literally has just begun. I hope you all see that. With that, have a great night. I'm going to unmute the line so you can say good night. Love you all, and I appreciate everything you're doing. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, John
Hi,
Boy.
everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, Casey.
Thanks.
Good night.
Night.
Good
Good night, Casey.
night, Jeanette.